No derogation is permitted. Just Collins is associated with the principle of universal jurisdiction, the quasi delicti juris gentium, which applies to a limited number of crimes for which any nation, even absent a personal or territorial link with the offense, is entitled to try the offender. Now, these United Nations conventions, yeah, where you say that, well, we can dissolve United Nations marriage. No, no derogation. You cannot in any way diminish the authority of the United Nations. Now, derogation, yes. Disparagement, depreciation of value, or estimation. Uh, some argue that the derogation of family values has caused an increase in crime. Now, these family values that you do not value as a court, where you say it doesn't diminish the family values of the Budnick family to have anybody paid to play the part of the five minors named. Yes. Now, if my sons were in my custody and somebody wanted to act the part of one of my sons, yes, I don't think I'd put my last name on them. Pooh. There's one. Well, I think it does. It does diminish the family values, and it could cause an increase in crime. Pooh. Now, detraction, prejudice, or destruction of a grant or right. Yes. I tell you, yes, that I don't have a dissolution of marriage. Poop. And you say, well, that's my problem. Well, when you don't give me notice of court hearings, I don't appear in court. Yes. And when you don't have the jurisdiction of the United Nations to dissolve the United Nations marriage certificate, yes, you did actually diminish the authority of the United Nations. Now, that can be tried in the United Nations. Ouch. And then when I tell you that this is fraudulent, yes, yes, yes. And you say I'm delusional for thinking that my sons won't be affected by the fraud of issuing mental health evaluations, right? Where I wasn't in Squim, I wasn't in Brennan. Now, this idea that you're going to obstruct American citizens from having their rights enforced, and your family says, well, we can do this. All we have to do is just make up a story. Yes, pay somebody to play the part of the citizen, and it does not in any way destroy, prejudice, or detract from the granting or the right of being a citizen of the United States of America. Now, it calls into question the actual citizenship of the five minors named. You know, there are a number of amendments in the Constitution that talk about citizenship. What is the crime of fraudulently acting as if you are a citizen of the United States when you're not? Yes, illegal alien. Now, I happen to have a copy of the Constitution in my backpack right here. Did you, as sheriffs, want to read that? Did you want to have a look at it? See this paternity fraud? Yes. Where you say, well, it doesn't really matter what we do as long as no one finds out. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see here. Oh, 14th Amendment. Oh, good for you. Oh, you are actually no derogation. You can never diminish the actual value of the citizenship of the United States of America. Now, more than likely, yes, this is a crime of moral turpitude. Ooch. And I can sue you, yes, for not only the paternity fraud, but saying that somebody, though they might be citizen, they are not that citizen. Yes, there is this concept that this support and defense of the Constitution is a requirement of every person elected and appointed to office in the United States. And all of you that said, well, we do support and defend the Constitution, you don't when you allow for paternity fraud to happen. Well, you don't. Now, there could be numerous additional lawsuits right now for acting the part of any American citizen without the consent of their parents because of the fraud. Now, I know you don't think this Constitution's very important, but I kind of do. And when I get to sue him, because I will, a person born or naturalized in the United States, yes, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States. That means that you as a state, yes, shall not make any law, yes, that makes it permissible, yes, there is no derogation from this, that you can commit the crime of paternity fraud without being prosecuted, yes. Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Yes. Now, these equal protection of the laws, that's where paternity fraud involves itself. Because as a father, I would say that you're depriving my sons of the equal protection of the law. Yes. Because somebody thought it was fucking funny acting the part of one of my sons. Oops. There is no derogation, yes, from the actual enforcement of the. Well, you're getting sued for violating the 14th Amendment, Section 1. You can't play the part of any citizen. And if you happen to be a minor, you cannot act the part of any citizen without the consent of the parent, known as the. Now, these individuals, yes, known as senators or representatives, I know that you would say that it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's all a big fucking joke right now. But you're getting sued for violating the 14th Amendment because of your derogation, your prejudice against me and my family, yes, your destruction of our individual rights, liberties, and life. And then each attorney, yesterday I talked to the attorneys. I'm going to have you tried in The Hague, and then there's the International Court of Justice. Now, this professional integrity of the legal profession. What stupid fucking attorney thinks that it's funny making fun of my last name because teenagers were paid by. You have been ignoring a responsibility or duty, derogation of official duties. Now, for those of you that are in office that remember being in the military, yes, Judge Porter, pooch, derogation of duty, pooch. You know, I've seen enough television that had war films in it. Yes, yes, yes. Where you ordered and signed a dismissal of the case based upon my incompetence. Yes. For knowing that you didn't admit the evidence that I wasn't in SQUIM. Right. Knowing that this is a fraudulent protection order. Yes. Where I told you as a judge I was not given personal service or service by publication because I had no mailing address. Oh, I'm homeless. Now, you kept sending a 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. So, Judge Porter, your derogation of the. Well, it's a derogation of your official duties as an elected judge, yes, as an attorney oath, yes, and as an active duty Air Force personnel. I will sue the Air Force for refusing to acknowledge the derogation of duty to the United States Air Force is getting fucking sued, okay? Now, for any general in the Air Force that thinks this is all right to have the derogation of duty of any judge,